Okay. Hi, Carolina. How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. If you see me looking down, I just might be taking notes here, but how would you like to start our session today?
Um, I was thinking about that leading up to this, like what I would want to talk about. The first thing that really came to mind or comes to mind is feeling burned out. Um, I am coming to the end of my first term in graduate school, and it's been really challenging me. I
Mm.
find myself just barely hanging on to the assignments. I turned in my last assignment 2 minutes late, and that's very unusual for me to cram it into the very last day at the very last minute, beyond the last minute. Um, but that's kind of just like an example of where I'm at with that. And then I got a notification for the next summer term being opened on our app, and I looked at it and I immediately got really overwhelmed by
Mm.
the content of that class. I'm wishing that there was somewhat of a break between the two classes. Um, and then as I was thinking about it more, I think I'm really just feeling kind of burned out in all areas of my life. Like if I look at, parenting and my just, family life and my health and just all of the things, it's like I'm spread super thin and I'm feeling like I'm not doing great at anything.
Mm. You're feeling burnt out and spread too thin.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I guess maybe I have this idea that, well, I should take time to, do something that I love or that fills me up or, the like kind of like cliche advice, I guess. Um, and I I just don't, if I look at the time in my day, it's like all of the things that I'm burnt out by, I do love. Like I love my school. I love what I'm learning. I love the program. I love my family. I love my other commitments. Um, but I'm at one of these places where I don't have anything that I feel like I'm really good at right now. And maybe that's also part of it. Like I'm kind of struggling in class. I'm finding myself being it's summer break for my kids, and it's like an intense adjustment to be with them all the time.
Mhm.
um and like I've got other things I'm involved in that I just don't have like a strong win for myself right now. And yeah, that feels like defeating.
Mm.
uh,
You feel overwhelmed by the weight of everything, like you could really use a win right now.
yeah, like maybe it would be worth it to be burned out if I was doing really well in one of these aspects. Like, if my kids were just like, wow, you're the best mom, like instead, my 5.5-year-old is like, just like constantly whining about everything, even though I'm like trying so hard to think of all of the ways to make things just great. Or if I was getting like the best grade in school, or if it like felt like it came really easily to me. I train in jujitsu. I just came from there this morning, and I'm like this close to taking my test for my blue belt, but I'm like not quite good enough and I'm not quite ready enough, and that's frustrating for me. Like I just want a win. I teach, I part-time at this like fitness studio, and my class isn't super popular, and I kind of take it personally. Um, my husband and I, like, our marriage is solid, but I'm not I'm not doing my best there either. um, yeah, I feel like guilty for even complaining. Like, these are very privileged um problems to have, I recognize. But yeah, it just feels like this heaviness that I don't really see an end in sight for.
Mm. I'm hearing you say that there's a lot going on. It's creating burnout and overwhelm for you. And if there were validation, like if you were getting validation in return, it would make it much easier for you to navigate.
I think so. Yeah, I think I wonder if that really would be the case. Like, if, okay, so maybe my kids say I'm the best mom, or maybe I get the blue belt, or maybe I like all of the assignments come really easily to me or something. I
Mhm.
don't, would that solve it? I'm not really sure, but that's, I guess maybe that is just what I want. I don't really know. I'm tired. I want a break.
Hmm. Yeah, I hear that maybe you're curious. I hear that you're curious about if validation would make the overwhelm less overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, right. Like, maybe it would give it some kind of meaning. Like, yeah, I guess maybe I wonder if, you know, like, I see the struggle that I have with school, and I do believe that I am meant to be studying this for a reason. I believe that there's a purpose, and I am passionate about it, but
Mhm.
I wonder if this is really the right time. Like, I've got young kids, and um and I just see, like, oh, the long term, it's not just this course. It's like, this is endless. And even after graduation, then I go into working, full time. I've only been working part time since I had kids. And
Mhm.
the thought of like working full time and the kids, that's like, is that really what I'm signing myself up for? Like, is this what I want to do with my time? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just having like doubt and anxiety about it, like future tripping on it, I feel like.
Mm. So you're experiencing anxiety and maybe dread over over what the future might hold for you.
Yes. Yeah. And more, immediately this this summer, I'm going to go stay with my in-laws in Colorado for the month of July.
Mhm.
It's a decision my husband and I made like a year ago. We've been considering moving to Colorado to be closer to his parents. They're older. And so we thought we kind of go back and forth about whether or not we want to live there. And so we thought we would book this trip to spend a solid amount of time there, put our kid in some activities there, um, be with his parents, see what it feels like, try it on for size to live there. But now that that trip is approaching, it's about a week away. I am feeling super anxious about like how I'm going to juggle everything in a new environment. While yes, my in-laws are available to help with the kids sometimes, like they're they're much older. They, you know, I don't think I can actually fully count on that. So maybe some of that like more immediate anxiety compounded with like just feeling kind of defeated in a lot of areas in my life is making me question the longer term picture.
Mm,
So yeah, in general, I have this like tightness in my chest and like just feeling like I could just drop any one of these balls at any moment.
mm. You're carrying a lot. You're carrying a lot, and you have a big trip planned, and you're keeping a lot of balls in the air, and you're having anxious feelings about it.
Yes. Yeah. And I've shared about this before, and I share it with my husband. And I think he gets kind of um, uncomfortable, like seeing the anxiety playing out. And I like, it's like I'm not making any progress with
Mm,
how I deal with anxiety. And then I feel bad that like I have anxiety.
mm,
His intention is not like in that way, but it's like a mirror to this thing that keeps coming up for me. And, maybe there's a little bit of this like, well, you chose to go back to school, like isn't this is
mm.
something that you really want? And yes, it is, but also it's really hard, harder than either of us expected. And what am I going to do? Like quit? I guess, but I don't want to. So it's hard. And then I'm anxious. And then, yeah.
I hear you saying that it's hard, it's difficult to hold the anxiety, and you're also being given this mirror where your spouse, your husband has a difficult time holding it too.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe there's like, I'm I'm like questioning, if I'm going to be a counselor, shouldn't I know how to deal with this, like just everyday, pretty minimal anxiety in like this like healthy and, you know, enlightened way? Like, isn't that what I'm supposed to know how to do? But here I am just like stressing out about little things and big things and not even real things.
I hear you questioning yourself as if saying that being a counselor should make the weight of the human experience and the anxiety that the human experience creates, it should be easier for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So then that kind of goes back to that adds on to this list of areas where I feel a little bit like an imposter or a little bit like I'm not where I should be. Um, yeah. So it's this like weird cycle that just kind of feeds itself.
Mm. Yeah, and you mentioned too this idea that it's never going to end. If it's not school, it's graduating. If it's not graduating, it's the full-time job. And, kids add to that too. It sounds like there's this weight and then anxiety around this weight might just be the weight that is.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels exhausting.
Mm,
And, I have some sense that like self-care is important to avoid burnout. And I know that there's like different forms of self-care, but a couple of forms of self-care that I tried to commit to when I started this graduate program. I was like, I wanted to continue to exercise, and I wanted to continue to read for pleasure. I love reading
Mm.
for pleasure, but I'm just like barely hanging on by a thread. And I can feel that like my commitment to some of those things, they take away from my ability to get assignments done on time, or um, be present with my husband, or be available for my kid, like, and yeah, now that it like we've shifted into summer, I have to be more available for my kids. And then now it's only been a week, but I've already not been able to exercise as much, which isn't, you know, yeah, it's just like maybe I can feel that building up in my body a bit too. Just like I feel joy when I get to exercise. Like I feel, you know, it's fun. It's like so fun for me. Um, and so yeah, maybe I'm not having fun. I'm not having any fun
Mm.
anywhere. Um,
Yeah, I can see, I mean, on your face and your body language, I can see the excitement and kind of like the joyful restfulness of when you talk about exercising and taking care of you.
yeah, yeah. It's it's like one place in my life where I feel like myself, and all of the other places, even as a mom, I feel a little bit like, not a little bit, I definitely feel like an imposter. And I'm like, who
Mm.
is this person that's just like nagging at you to eat less sugar? Like, I don't know. I don't know her, but I am her.
Mm.
Um, or with my husband, like we're working so hard on like um just being better with each other. But
Mhm.
like also, who is that person who, like, I miss the version of myself that's just like effortlessly cool and attractive and, you know, fun. I'm not just like the grumpy mom juggling everybody's schedules. Um, in school, it doesn't come easy to me. Like my assignments, they don't come easy to me. Like this type of work is really, really stretching my brain. Um, yeah, so like when I get to go exercise, the goal is moving my body, and I'm accomplishing that goal, and I'm in my body, and I feel like I'm doing the thing, and I feel like myself.
It's a win.
It's a win. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a bit that you you know and you feel that self-care is important, and I can see the way you react to talking about exercise as a form of self-care. And I also hear you saying that you carry a struggle and a guilt with leaning into pieces of self-care because you have so much going on.
Yes. Yeah, like this morning, um, instead of like shuffling my kids off to go to this, like where I go work out or whatever, and they have childcare, like I could have gotten my kids up earlier. I could have like been more hurried about breakfast, and I could have taken us there, put them in childcare, which like they don't totally love, but whatever. Um, so that I could go and exercise. But I felt like I saw the day as a whole, and my priority was this call and making time for my class, my study, like the work that I have to do for school. And I know that there will be some other shuffling and hurrying that I'll have to, make them do later. So I just
Mm.
decided to let them sleep and take our time. Yeah. And I mean, I know that exercise can look a lot of different ways. So I think maybe for the summer, I need to think about like just walks or stuff when the kids are around. It's looked a certain way for a little while now.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's kind of occurring to me in this moment that like, okay, instead of fighting the situation, maybe I need to brainstorm some other options.
Mm.
So I'm not just like not doing anything at all.
It might be helpful for you to spend some time thinking about how you could shift what self-care and exercise looks for like for you, especially in the next month with your trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be a better option than like either just sacrificing it completely or forcing it to look the way that it works like during the school year, like my kids' school year or whatever. Um, yeah. And maybe like when I think about that, I feel like even just the possibility of going to take a walk outside, I can feel myself like breathing better.
Mm,
um, Although the walk would most likely have to be with my kids, that's okay. It's still like, yeah. And maybe sometimes it won't have to be.
mm. You feel calmer.
I do. I do. That feels um, comforting, maybe.
Comforting. We are coming up to time here. Today you shared that you were experiencing burnout and feeling challenged and overwhelmed. And we talked about possible ways that validation and self-care might might soothe. And I just want to reflect to you um, what a beautiful step it is to come and bring this to session today. And I hope you have a wonderful week, Carolina.
Awesome. Thanks, Millie.
Awesome. Thanks, Carolina. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, we did it.
We did it.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that with me.
Yeah. When you were saying that you weren't sure of what to share, that's kind of how I felt, but I hope it wasn't too all over the place. I feel like it was a lot, but
Oh, it was
yeah,
great.
I think you did great. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you ready to jump into feedback here?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, one or two areas of strength. Um, what responses helped you feel understood? Well, let me go back and just say, just overall, in general, I felt your um, a lot of warmth, a lot of empathy and like care. That really came across. I haven't been able to connect with you very much in the class or before this class, so I wasn't really sure of what to expect, and you were just really kind and made the space feel um, warm. So
Thank
that
you.
was something I really appreciated. Um, what responses helped you feel understood? For sure, when you mentioned validation, it was like,
Mm.
yes, that is exactly what I want. And um, I've had that realization in the past. For myself, and it surprised me so much that I didn't even know that I needed that, but you showed that to me.
Mm.
Um, and I also really appreciated how you brought it back at the very end. Um, your meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay. Um, so that was helpful to be reminded of that. Um, may, responses had a positive impact or were facilitative. Um, I think, I felt some insecurity talking about what I was sharing. And like, because I felt like maybe they weren't big problems or big enough problems. And the way that you really understood and gave respect to the weight of how I was experiencing it was so helpful. Whether or not, like it's a big problem relative to someone else doesn't really matter. Like my experience of it in this moment is um, is what it is, and you reflected that back to me, and that I really felt that
Mm.
it allowed me to share more um, without any like shame about it,
Mm.
since I already have some shame about it.
Mm.
Um, one or two areas of growth from the session, responses that were not accurate to what you were experiencing, broke connection. I didn't feel like connection was broken. Yeah, I don't remember feeling that anything was broken. And so, what was not accurate or not facilitative? Um, gosh, I'm really trying to think of something.
There's no pressure. I will jump in and say that
Yeah.
I turned a reflection or a prompt into a question right at the beginning. And like
Mm.
I would use words like maybe,
Oh,
which probably wasn't super helpful. Those are things we try not to do, right? Is turn things into questions. But so I will put that out there that I could have done that better for
I did
sure.
not. Yeah, and I didn't even notice it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I am going to have to say that I don't have any specific responses that felt like they were not facilitative.
Well, that's great news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll stop the recording here
Okay.
and then let's see.